I, 30 female, grew up in a middle-class family. I have a sister, Ellie, who is 3 years older than me. Some of my earliest childhood memories are of my parents characterizing me as the pretty one and Ellie as the smart one. Ellie has an IQ in the 150 range. She was always at the top of her classes at school with little effort, while I struggled to make B's. When it came time for college, Ellie was accepted into some of the best schools in the country and ended up enrolling in a top 10 university. While I always kind of wondered how they were affording this, I kind of assumed they were taking out loans for whatever financial aid didn't cover. However, when I was a senior in high school, I found out how Ellie's tuition was being funded. With the inheritance my grandparents had left, with the intention it would be used for both of our schooling. Ellie had 1 year left of university and the money was nearly gone. They made it clear that with my grades, they would rather the money go to finish off Ellie's graduate education. I was left with the choice, loans or no school. I ended up working full-time to afford to rent an apartment with friends while going to community college nursing school on the side. It took me a little longer, but I graduated with honors. I got a great job at a local hospital and ended up meeting my now husband, who was a second-year general surgery resident at the time, my very first day on the job. Fast forward 8 years. My husband is a surgeon and I went back to school to become a CRNA. We are very comfortable financially, happily married, and I am pregnant with our first child, a girl. Through this time, I have maintained minimal contact with my parents and sister. I had a ton of resentment and allowed my relationship with them to grow colder over the years. I was aware my sister had got on to get her MA and PhD, though I had no idea how this was being funded and didn't care to ask. About a month ago, I got a call from my mother, who didn't even know I was pregnant. Apparently, my sister is struggling under the weight of multiple private loans while working at an entry-level research job. She is living with my parents, who co-signed the loans, and is having a hard time. She asked if my husband and I would give them a loan to take care of my sister's loans for the next few years and take some of the pressure off of her. It was pretty clear to me that loan really meant gift. I unloaded on her. I told her that I had spent my entire childhood being dismissed and ignored while my brilliant sister was put above me constantly. They used my college money on her, and I had to take out loans which I paid off myself. So now that their pretty daughter has managed to make something of herself, they have to use her to once again prop up their smart daughter. My mother was crying and saying, "That isn't true," over and over again. Then my father jumped on the phone and demanded to know what I had said to her. I hung up. My husband is very proud of me for standing up for myself and finally speaking about the trauma which has been weighing me down for years. And while I know it was the right thing to do, why do I still feel like crap? I imagined this moment 1,000 times, but I also thought it would come with a sense of relief. Now I am doubting myself and wondering if I made the wrong choice on addressing the problems I have with my mother in such a way. Would it have been better to ask them to go to family therapy with me, or just sit down and explain calmly why I don't want to bail out Ellie? And on the other hand, while I'm not close with my sister, I know she is as much a victim in this as I am. She put all her value into being the smart daughter, and look where it got her. I guess I'm just extremely conflicted about the whole situation and needed to vent and ask advice from a bunch of strangers on the internet who have no horse in this race, so to speak. What would they do if you couldn't succeed in life on your own way? They didn't help you with the cost of college. You could have easily been the one in debt, seeking for help. Would they help? She went to grad school with zero funding? That's not uncommon with just getting a master's, but it's extremely uncommon if you're in a PhD program, which usually includes the masters you get along the way. It's especially unusual if she went to a top 10 university and maintained the GPA necessary to attend a graduate program. Something tells me, OP, that you are not getting the full story behind the money troubles. Either sister was taking out additional loans so she could live at a higher standard than is normally afforded by a grad school stipend, or it's the parents that are in trouble for other reasons. She went to school in a major city. I'm pretty sure she didn't work while she was in school at all, so a good portion of those loans are likely for living expenses. I swear, the kid the parent treats as special is almost always the one who ends up losing. You didn't feel relief because nothing changed. Your mother didn't say, "I'm so sorry I hurt you. I was wrong. I love you." She just kept denying it. Your father got angry. Even if she had admitted the truth of what she had done, I don't know how much difference it would have made to you, but it would have been something. Congratulations on the life you have created for yourself. I would not bail out your sister. That would accomplish nothing. I do suggest that perhaps you consider therapy for yourself. You saved yourself. You created a good life and a good marriage, but the wounds they inflicted are still there. Continuing to bail your sister out when you were given nothing is not the answer and won't make anything better for you, and it will only help your family in the short run since they seem incapable of making wise choices. This is their problem, not yours. Continue to live your good life. Please consider talking to someone about what happened to you growing up. Telling your mother was a good start. Now you need to tell someone, besides your husband, who can hear you and help you through it. I want to attend the funeral of a well-loved community member who has passed away fairly young, late 30s. My partner is saying we would be selfish for going on the chance that our presence incites her friend, who had a 4-month-long emotional affair with my partner over a year ago, that culminated in my partner leaving me, going to her, swearing he was done with me, and was going to be moving out of town, and then us working things out and spiting her. He is worried that our presence is going to cause her enough emotional pain that she may decide to make a scene at the funeral, which would take away from the memory of the woman who has passed. I'm saying that we cannot control what she does, and I think it would mean a lot to the woman who passed's daughter to see everyone who was touched by her mother's life and how loved by the community she is. The woman who passed is responsible for me and my partner meeting, and is honestly just someone worthy of as much love as she gave during her life. My partner is saying I am selfish for wanting to go, knowing that there is a chance someone else may cause a scene at my mere presence. I think he is being childish by letting the possibility of a grown adult not being able to be responsible for her own emotions at a funeral restrict his and my actions, and us showing her family how much the woman was loved. He feels the chance is high because he ran into her at a bar a few months ago, and she told his friend that he was a ducking a-hole for bringing my partner to said bar. So, am I the a-hole for wanting to go to the funeral? Not the a-hole. Dump him and go. His behavior is suspicious, and the baggage sounds too much. Not the a-hole, but if your partner feels so strongly about not going, why can't he just stay home while you go? You had nothing to do with his affair. It's not your responsibility to avoid the person your partner cheated on you with to make the other woman feel more comfortable. What the duck? Not the a-hole. You want to pay your respects of someone in the community that was well loved. If your partner is saying that the two of you shouldn't go, why should this other person get to go instead? You are absolutely right. You can't control the actions of someone else, and that shouldn't in turn control how you two live your lives, make decisions, to attend events. My sister, 40 female, and I, 25 female, have a larger age gap. Over the years, she babysat me as I grew up, and she got married and had children. I did the same. However, growing up, my sister was always mean to me and never treated me like her sister, always an outsider. Her first and second husband, however, were always nice to me. She would insult me, yell at me, hit me, and tell her kids not to talk to me. So sometimes when I would stay at her house, I would be isolated to the room, scared to come down because she would give me the silent treatment, and so would the kids. She would also tell people I was bad and won't be anything in life and all. As a mom, I can't say she was the best. She would dump the kids on my mom to travel and meet new guys that she would bring home and force the kids to call dad, kick her kids out in the extreme heat or extreme winter cold, and love bomb them to come back whenever she needed them or when CPS was on to her. Anyway, fast forward to now. I'm 25, university graduate, working a government job, married to a wonderful man, also expecting, and a nice home. This year, my sister kicked out her son because she was traveling to meet a guy. Her son, 17, has a rebellious nature, such as selling and doing stealing, and run-ins with the school and the law. He called me to pick him up, which I did, and allowed him to stay with me and my husband while we fed and clothed him on my own. A few months later, I found out the kid was stealing valuables from us and telling me how his mom is a good mom and I'm horrible, etc. Turns out, his mom was texting him all sorts of nice things after CPS caught on to her and her child benefit tax was cut. Now that I'm pregnant, none of them have offered to give me anything for my baby yet. I'm being asked to give money and donations to the same nephew who's expecting his baby at 17. Now I'm being told I'm awful and a bad person for not contributing and giving him money for his baby. When they ask what you're giving, list everything he stole from you. That should cover it. Or tell them, my gift is not going to the police. If that's not enough, I can take it back and go file a report right now. Cut contact with your toxic family. Sounds like you have a lovely family with your husband and baby. Nah, you don't owe them a penny. You haven't done anything wrong, and they all sound like horrible people. Family or not, they have no right to treat you horribly and expect anything but distance from you. Being family is not a free pass for you to take A. I can feel your sympathies, though. Now that my sister is with child, she expects me to be in her life and pretend we are some happy family when she spent years tearing down the relationship we did have. And she's trying to use my kid to do so. My kid grew up 5 years without her caring. Why does she care now? Probably because she wants money and she's a single mom. Protect yourself because nobody else will. It turns out my husband, 35 male, was sending money to another woman. 4 months ago, I, 30 female, returned to work after having a baby. My partner stays at home because my job pays more. With the crazy gas and grocery prices, we haven't gotten caught up yet to get anything but the bare minimum. Turning 30, I think, is special enough to splurge on. So when my work had a contest for $50 PayPal and a pizza party for my team, I worked hard and won. I've had it saved for over 2 months now. I was planning on getting a few sirloin steaks to grill and ingredients to make a peach cobbler. Today, after I got home from work, I went online to clip the steak coupon and to transfer the money from my PayPal to my debit card. I log in and it says $10. It showed a transfer to my partner's card a week ago. I asked him if he did it. He said no. I then got on PayPal chat to report fraud. I'm thinking they will just credit me back for the error. I'm in queue and he comes up and says, "Wait, I did do it. I forgot." When I asked him what he spent it on, he went on a rant about how he is a 35-year-old grown man and just wanted to spend some damn money. I again asked what he spent it on. He said a friend of his was really struggling and he just wanted to help out a little because she has no help. I told him the friend is probably a man who is finessing hundreds of dollars from schmucks like him with the same sob story. He got super angry and said he wasn't about to feel embarrassed over it. He is too embarrassed to go to the food pantry, but not embarrassed for getting scammed. Okay. I told him I was going to use it for my birthday, and he told me, "You're an adult. Adults don't get birthday gifts. Plus, we have food here." I told him I worked hard for that measly $50, and it wasn't his to spend. He then said, "Consider it my allowance for staying home with the kids while you get to go to work like a little vacation every day." My friend needed it. Like I don't have needs. Like I haven't gotten my PPD medicine filled once because I can't put it in the budget yet. I'm wearing the same bra from pre-pregnancy that is uncomfortable as hell, but his friend needed it. Gotcha. He then comes up and says, "Just go donate plasma on your lunch, or I will cook you dinner with what we have on your birthday." I told him it was shady that he changed the email on my PayPal, using money that wasn't his without telling me, and asked him if he was going to continue helping his friend. He said yes, anytime he gets extra money or allowance. I told him to get out, and he did. I thought it was my postpartum depression making me feel like I was detached from my husband. Today is my birthday, and he didn't send so much as a happy birthday, but does have time to rant on Facebook. Edit. I want to point out I just found out about his friend and about the money yesterday. I cannot snap my fingers and just be divorced. Please stop asking, why aren't you divorced? I also do not know if she's a cam girl, or if they have even met yet in person, or if the relationship is romantic. I'm trying to process this all. What the duck did I just read? What an absolute loser. He thinks working is a vacation? Spending money on internet gal friends is fine? Tells you to donate plasma to get a birthday meal? Your birthday isn't special? And rants about you on Facebook? Girl, I hate to break it to you, but he didn't give it to her because she was going through a hard time. He purchased content from her and is probably embarrassed about it. And yeah, he's an absolute sucker. I think this marriage is about done. He chose this stranger over his family. He chose to give money away to his little internet crush and put her needs over your children's empty bellies. He knew what he was doing. Please leave before he gives away even more. No advice. Just want to say happy birthday. I hope this next year brings you better things.